Welcome to Joy This Moment. I'm your host and coach, Mehbi Ahmed, here to open hearts and transform minds so you can live your best life as your most joyous and successful self. So let's dive into this episode. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Joy This Moment. I'm your host and coach, Mehbi Ahmed, and Joy This Moment is now on YouTube. Hello to our audience on YouTube. My gorgeous podcast listeners. This podcast was started on the 3rd of September 2020, and we are now on episode 14. So one of my friends actually suggested this idea. I thought, wow, okay, yeah, I'll think about it. And then I was like, am I just thinking more and doing less? Why not just whack it on YouTube? And then I was like, well, I already have 13 episodes out, and wouldn't it be weird that the first 13 you can't really see me, and now like on the 14th episode you finally see a face? But then I thought, hang on, is that a little bit of perfectionism seeping in? And yeah, I think it was. So I did this, one of the episodes, I think it's episode 8. Episode 8 is about how I overcame perfectionism. And since then I have discovered other ways that I am perfectionist, but I did not associate those behaviors as perfectionism. So that was a bit of a revelation to me. And the original perfectionism that I overcame, the one that I was aware of, was more to do with essays and written work and documents, and even like writing text, emails, like anything to do with writing. That's where I thought where I was mostly perfectionist, which I was. But I've also realized that I have levels of perfectionism when it comes to visual content as well, and I want to be very visual in my business. So one of the ways I let go of my perfectionism in this area, and still letting go of it, was like, okay, the first 13 episodes on YouTube will be people seeing my logo and hearing my voice. Fine. On the 14th, they can then see my face. What's the big deal? Doesn't matter. You know, as long as you can catch this podcast in some format, because it's on all of the podcast platforms and it's now on YouTube. I just want to make sure that I am reaching as many people as possible. So the best thing to do is to get out as many platforms as much as possible. Okay. So this is very exciting because now I can actually see my face when I'm talking, and that's exciting. It's different than just recording audio, which is what I kind of got used to. So it's fine. Speaking of being on video, I am going live on Tuesday the 22nd of December at 6 p.m. to officially launch This Is Your Moment, my coaching business. So join me live on Facebook and Instagram, and I will be sharing all the ins and outs of what I've been doing in my business, so my startup journey so far, why I decided to be a life coach, why particularly mindset transformation, and give you a flavour of mindset transformation in action. So there'll be a little activity to do. So all you need to bring is your lovely selves, your favourite slice of cake, and if you have a Christmas cracker or a party popper, because it's a party, right? So let's get into the party mood. Okay, so last week I was talking about, last week was what? Episode 13. I touched on imposter syndrome because I discovered that my ongoing fear, which I am busting it bit by bit, I'm busting it, is that fear of visibility as I'm becoming more and more open about my business and sharing the work that I am doing. And it is very, it's very exciting for me to go down this path of having an online business. But I'm so used to doing work more offline. If I would want to start a coaching business, I would think about doing, you know, one-to-one training sessions, physical workshops. Obviously, right now, in the pandemic, that's not really the climate for it. And at the same time, I have a new vision for my life, which is time, location, and financial freedom, which totally means stepping into the online space and going all in with my idea for an online business. So I have to get used to doing more and more visual content, jumping in on lives, and getting my message out there and sharing Joy Journey's mindset transformation as much as possible. So this is slightly exciting, slightly overwhelming, feeling all the feels as I'm recording this episode, but I promised unfiltered, candid mind chatter, so here we are. Now, imposter syndrome. So I've had it, you've had it, we've all freaking had it, but how do we hack it so that it no longer affects us? So I have 3 hacks for you that I really want you to try and tell me which one works for you. Okay, so the first one is pick an empowering affirmation. So my affirmation is, it is amazing for me to share my light with the world. It is amazing for me to share my light with the world. And to help really cement that into my brain, the thing to do is pick an affirmation, something that makes you feel good, something that makes you feel empowered, and pick up your phone, put a reminder in for 10 a.m. and write down that affirmation in your phone. So, and put a deadline for, I don't know, 31st December 2021, okay? What's going to happen is every day at 10 a.m. your phone's going to buzz and there'll be a reminder telling you it's amazing for me to share my light with the world, or whatever your affirmation is. So every day you'll be looking at that, okay? The second thing to do is, so this was a 10 a.m. task, the 10 p.m. task, that's the second one. So at 10 p.m. write down 3 things that you love about yourself and keep on going for at least 21 days. In fact, I would say just keep on doing it until the 31st December 2021. If you want to do that, write down 3 things that you love about yourself for a minimum of 21 days. Okay. And then in between, this is task number 3, in between, pay attention to anytime the feelings of imposter syndrome creep in. So anytime you feel not good enough or not worthy, or you're starting to feel a bit like a fraud, or a bit of like fake, and if you have imposter syndrome, you know what I'm talking about. All those feelings where we start questioning ourselves and doubting our actions and doubting if we're actually really good enough in general, and good enough to step up to the task that we're trying to do. Okay, so anytime you feel those negative thoughts and feelings that are linked to imposter syndrome coming up, become aware and get any piece of paper, journal, whatever out, and write down the thought. So as soon as it pops up, write it down, the thought, and also write down what you were doing. This is very useful. The reason you want to write down the thought and what you were doing is because then as the days progress, and I want you to continue this for 21 days, you know what? All 3 activities, minimum 21 days, I want you to do this for. So as you record the negative thoughts and the activities around it, you will then, at different points in the day, you'll then start tracking what particular things you were doing when these thoughts popped up. And that will give you a really good insight into maybe something different you need to be doing. It'll start giving you that sense of awareness. And that awareness is first key, because if you don't know what that thought is, then you cannot bust that fear and challenge it. So we want to take that thought to court, as I like to put it. So here are your 3 tasks. There's a 10 a.m. affirmation on your phone that goes off every day. There's a 10 p.m. activity, 3 things that you love about yourself. And finally, monitor imposter syndrome thoughts that are popping up throughout the day and the activities that you're doing. Now, I want you to do this for a minimum of 21 days. The longer the better. Okay, the longer the better, because you want to build up a catalog of information. Because right now in your brain, if you have imposter syndrome, you have years of data built up in your brain that points you to events and experiences that give you proof of your imposter syndrome. So right now your brain, the reason you feel imposter syndrome is because you have so many memories of feeling imposter syndrome. We need to counteract that. We need to fight imposter syndrome with heaps of positivity and heaps of empowerment. And this is not something that's rooted in, this is toxic positivity. We're not just throwing positivity for the sake of throwing positivity. We are challenging your negative limiting beliefs, because the reality is that you are not an imposter. You're not an imposter at all. You are a beautiful, unique human being. You are a beautiful, unique human being, because no one thinks, acts, and does exactly the same as you. Unless you have a clone. And I'm not talking about twins or triplets either, because no, I'm talking about an exact ditto clone. No one has the exact DNA as you. No one has the exact mind as you. No one is you. Only you are you. So how can you be an imposter? You are a unique, beautiful human being. You feel like an imposter because of the negativity around you, which isn't your fault, and it isn't other people's faults either, because we are surrounded by so many thoughts and beliefs. And stories, and we have stories about relationships, about love, about our career, about ourselves. We're surrounded by all these different beliefs and stories, and sometimes, not sometimes, more than often, we tend to internalize these things. So a classic way of internalizing is when we're comparing ourselves to someone else. So you have someone at work who seems to be you both are doing the same task, and your colleague does it better than you, right? You might start feeling like, oh, do I even belong here? Should I really be even working in this company? Am I even good enough? So all because you are comparing yourself to that person, when you yourself are a unique person. You've just forgotten how unique and brilliant you are. So let me remind you how unique and brilliant you are. And because we have so much of the imposter syndrome related events built into our system over time, we now have the awareness and therefore the responsibility to counteract that. So the 3 tasks, the 10 a.m. affirmation, the 10 p.m. Love note to yourself, 3 things you love about yourself, and monitoring the thoughts and particularly the activities you're doing throughout the day. Try any one of these. See how you feel. But if you want to take the next step, I would say do all 3 of these in one go. And the reason is you want to flood your brain with the positivity. You want to brainwash yourself against imposter syndrome. And I have tried this myself, and this freaking works. Everything I share with you are things that I use on myself. Like, I don't want to share anything that I feel doesn't work. So this works. And I've only been doing this for a week and a bit. Since I recorded last week's episode, I was like, hang on, I think I have figured out one hack. So it's only been a week and a half, but I'm feeling the difference. It's because I'm doing all 3 activities. But if you feel that you don't particularly have the time, that's okay. Let me make it super easy for you. Just do the 10 a.m. affirmation in your phone activity. That's it. Your phone will remind you every day that it's amazing to share your light with the world. Okay. I really hope this helps. Let me know if this helps. Let me know which of the 3 activities works for you, or if none of these work for you. I always love hearing your thoughts, because all of us, as I said, are unique individuals. And on the podcast, I tend to share a few generic hacks and some of obviously my personal thoughts and aha moments, but these hacks tend to be generic. So if you feel that you would like to go deeper and further with this, because again, these hacks are temporary, these are quick fixes. And okay, you can do these quick fixes over time, but you can also speed up the feeling of not feeling like an imposter. And speeding up that feeling comes with working with a coach on a one-to-one basis, and I am more than happy to assist you on your journey to success of busting imposter syndrome if this is something that you need help with. So get in touch. All of the links are in the show notes, and I am going live on Facebook and Instagram on Tuesday the 22nd December, so join me then for this funky startup party. See you with your favorite cake and party popper. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Joy This Moment. I'm truly grateful to each and every one of you for tuning in week on week to listen to yours truly. If you feel that you've had an aha moment or would like to drop some feedback, take a screenshot of this episode, tag me at Mev's Moments on Instagram, or you can email me at hello@thisisyourmoment.co.uk, and I would love to send you my Monday magical mindset meditation as a little token of my appreciation for you dropping that review. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.